Thank you for joining the Voice in the Wilderness political commentary. I'm your channel host, Rendani. Today I'm focusing on the following question, the Motsepe Paradox. Can Mr. Motsepe steer South Africa to victory? To the promised land in a broken car, that is the ANC. Now, in the face of electoral defeat, the ANC has always had a trick up their sleeve. When faced with certain defeat, such as in the case of Mr. Jacob Zuma, the ANC played the Cyril Ramaphosa card. And oh boy, did it work. South Africa was literally drowned in Ramaphoria. Drunk in Ramaphoria. Now that the ANC's electoral prospects have taken a nosedive once again, owing to the disastrous leadership of Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, they have produced another card. And that card is none other than Mr. Patrice Motsepe. There is something that is very interesting about the ANC in South Africa. The ANC's promise of a new broom that sweeps clean always seems to resonate with the South African electorate, which is so quick to forget. An electorate that is quick to forget in the face of taps that have run dry, in the face of load shedding that has come to characterize the South African life. The South African electorate is quick to forget in the face of infrastructure that is collapsing and rampant crime. Are you talking about kidnappings of children? It's said that parents now send their children to schools, and they are no longer sure that the children will definitely come back. It's very sad. Now, make no mistake, Mr. Patrice Motsepe comes highly recommended. He's a self-made billionaire, a philanthropist, a transformative leader in African football, and a man with a remarkably clean public image. He embodies the kind of success that you and I should feel inspired about. I know some of you will say, but Mr. Motsepe is a product of the BEE. No, I choose to differ. I respectfully differ with that opinion. Mr. Motsepe has paid his school fees. He knows how to run a tuck shop, how to build wealth, rent for rent. If you and I dislike the man, Mr. Motsepe, we're probably jealous of the man, or there's simply something wrong with you and I. But here is the critical question. Here is the kicker. Is Mr. Motsepe the right leader to rescue South Africa from its deepening crisis? Now, to answer that question, let's look at what Mr. Motsepe will have to inherit. Assuming that he campaigns and runs for the presidency of country under the banner of the ANC, successfully so. Should Mr. Motsepe become president, he will inherit a broken society, a society that is characterized by economic stagnation and unemployment. We are talking about unemployment northwards of 30%. When you talk about the youth, joblessness, it doubles, almost doubles. And this leads to great frustration and unrest in the country. Restlessness. We are talking about a South Africa that is crime-ridden and lawless, where the borders are open for everyone to come in, where there's no control as to who is appointed to position that could be defined as requiring greater care for national security. You can be a foreigner, you can be appointed anywhere in the country. just because of lawlessness and lack of control in the country. Here is the big one. Mr. Motsepe is going to inherit political dysfunction. I mean, the decline of the ANC from a party that was able to run the country independently without any coalition partner. It came on the back of massive corruption. It came on the back of mismanagement of state resources, factionalism and incompetence, where meritocracy counts for nothing in the ANC's leadership, within the universe of the ANC. Now, make no mistake, Mr. Motsepe brings a very powerful resume to the presidential contest. His track record is stellar. I mean, the man has turned Mamelodi Sundowns from an average team to a continental powerhouse. He has reformed CAF finances, earning global acclaim, turned around its governance systems. And now today CAF is a respectable football association in the entire world. He's a mining magnate. His business success and leadership is without equal. I mean, that on its own is not enough. Running a country, especially one as fractured as South Africa, requires more than a managerial brilliance. This position, the next president had rather be somebody who can ruthlessly enforce law and order. Laws of a country cannot be negotiated. You only see them in South Africa because we appoint politically compromised people. If I am politically compromised, I have an interest in making sure that the police don't work. I have an interest in making sure that the criminal justice system as a whole doesn't work. I have an interest in appointing people on the basis of loyalty than competence. I have a vested interest in exploiting skin color than the content of a man's character. Mr. Motsepe, if he's to succeed, he will have to bring ideological clarity. If you look at the ANC, I mean, in project management, we usually say anything with more than one head is a monster. Now, the ANC alliance is a monster with 3 heads, with each head trying to pull in different direction. That results in economic paralysis as far as ideology is concerned. Now, Mr. Motsepe will have to bring ideological clarity and pursue it resolutely. He will also have to dismantle entrenched corruption. The question is, does Mr. Motsepe have a spine? The evidence suggests that Mr. Motsepe probably has got all the qualifications. But just like our president, Mr. Ramaphosa, he doesn't have that tough love. He doesn't have it within him to give South Africa that bitter medicine to drink. That's where we are. We need a no-nonsense leader. If there's anything that stands out as a weakness in Mr. Motsepe, is the fact that personality-wise, he's not as resolute, he's not as forceful as enough. He's not forceful enough. Just like the same thing with our current president. That's one of his most one of his downfalls the downfall of the current president, it's not resolute, man. There was a time when he got into politics, came back into politics to become the president, he modeled this leadership around the style of President Nelson Mandela, reconciliation, nation building, and so forth. But one political analyst made a very poignant fact. And that fact was to say that, yes, Mr. President Nelson Mandela, may his soul rest in peace, was a man of reconciliation and nation building. But he had a spine. He was a brave man. He was a bold man when he needed to be. He was not prepared to negotiate certain things. He was able to enforce his will, bring to bear his will upon an organization. But I haven't even started to point out the real issue that is going to bring Mr. Motsepe down. Here is the question that I want to ask. Can Lewis Hamilton win you the Grand Prix championship in a old and broken city golf? Can he win you that Grand Prix championship? That's one of the main factors that is going to fail Mr. Motsepe. The fact that he's going to campaign under the banner of the ANC is going to give Mr. Motsepe his first taste of failure in his entire career, leadership career. With all the qualifications that Mr. Motsepe is bringing, the ANC structural rot would cripple him. Consider factors such as institutionalized corruption within the ANC. The ANC cadres prioritize self-preservation over reform. They are not going to let Mr. Motsepe take their bacon away. They are not going to allow him. As soon they are going to make a deal with him for him to become a candidate, he's going to have to make certain guarantees that he's not going to throw them in jail. I mean, most of the people in the ANC, EFF, MK party to a greater extent, and EFF to a lesser extent, are people that have been fingered by the state capture. Let me say MK party because Malema was fortunate enough to be kicked out, but he's got his own history within the ANC. Most of them are tainted by corruption. So to clean up South Africa, it means that he'll have to clean up the ANC. And Mr. Ramaphosa, President Ramaphosa, had to do a deal with the devil as well within the ANC to leave the ANC as it is. Factionalism within the ANC is also fatal. He is going to have to juggle national interest with factional interest within the ANC. Mr. Motsepe is going to fight with his hands tied behind his back. He would like to do right, but those crocodile within the ANC are going to pull him back and say, no, we've got a culture, we've got a tradition within the ANC. We don't do this, we don't do that. We don't punish cadres who have failed in positions, because the most important reason the cadres are important in positions is not to serve the public, but to serve patronage interest of the ANC. That's the long and short of it. That's where Mr. Motsepe is going to struggle. Can he really lead South Africa, steer the ship that South Africa is to the promised land in a broken car? That is the ANC. I put my head on the block. There's no way Mr. Motsepe is going to make it. He's a brilliant as he is. If Mr. Motsepe wants to succeed, he must never make that mistake. Many people, business leaders, undermine the workings of the political system. Look at Elon Musk. He went there on stage having this big chainsaw. Oh, this is the chainsaw to cut the bureaucracy. I'm going to cut 2 trillion rands, $2 trillion from our budget. Where is Mr. Elon Musk? He had to confess himself that he underestimated the problems. So, sitting where is Mr. Motsepe, if he honestly has good intentions for the country, he'll have to come to terms with what I'm talking about. You cannot transform the country. You cannot take South Africa to the promised land using the vehicle that is the ANC. It has not been done before, and it's not going to be done. Look at state capture. Culprits, they are sitting pretty in parliament, presenting the country with one of the greatest risks ever. If there's a risk that South Africa faces, if you look at all the sectors of South Africa, they are performing. The private sector, private citizens. Look at the sports and arts and culture. It shows you that South Africa is alive with talent, but political sphere is dragging this country back. Those state capture culprits in parliament, they are lying all the way. They pretend as if they are leaders. They are not leaders. And most of them come from the ANC and MK party. Once you are compromised, you are finished. If I'm compromised as a leader, firstly, I don't have willingness to make sure that there is independent criminal justice system. Why did the ANC destroy the Scorpions? Because they know that they are not clean. So the same dilemma is going to face Mr. Motsepe. Now, the path forward, the way forward, if he is to succeed, Mr. Motsepe must stay away from the ANC as possible. He must get another new vehicle, a new movement, untainted by decades of failure and very bad culture within the ANC. Number two, he must embrace tough love. As the softly approach is not going to work with South Africa. If you are going to negotiate with drug dealers, if you are going to have to cuddle the gangsters that are going to Spar in Mamelodi, going to these shopping centers and telling the likes of Spar supermarkets to say, you must pay protection fee, and they are being paid. You need somebody who will be made of sterner stuff. That's the medicine that the country needs. He must also make sure he negotiates a social contract. Being tough doesn't mean that you don't consult. It's just that once you consult, that's it. One stroke. Thereafter, somebody gets out of line, he must deal with those people. The law must apply without fear and favor. My conclusion is that a leader cannot succeed in a system that is designed to fail. In a broken car, that is the ANC. Mr. Motsepe is by all accounts an extraordinary South African. He is doing a lot of good. He has done a lot of good. He's still doing a lot of good. But to be a president, something has to give. Extraordinary individuals rarely survive broken systems. And Mr. Motsepe will be no exception. Unless Mr. Motsepe is prepared to break from the ANC's toxic legacy and govern with uncompromising resolve, his presidency, if it happens, has already failed even before it begins. South Africa doesn't need a pat on the back. It needs tough love. The ANC is not just a party. It is an ecosystem of decay. No leader, no matter how brilliant, can thrive in it. And this is the voice in the wilderness. My name is Rendani. See you in the next podcast.